For millions of years, giant dinosaurs ruled the Earth. Some were peaceful plant-eaters, but others were powerful hunters that filled the ancient world with fear. These deadly predators had razor-sharp teeth, crushing jaws, long claws, and incredible strength. Some could outrun their prey, while others relied on surprise attacks or worked together to bring down animals much larger than themselves. From towering meat-eaters to fast and deadly pack hunters, each had special abilities that made it one of the most dangerous creatures of its time. Tyrannosaurus rex was one of the largest meat-eating dinosaurs that ever lived on Earth. It lived during the final part of the age of dinosaurs, many millions of years before the first humans appeared. Its name comes from ancient Greek and Latin words that mean king of the tyrant lizards. Scientists gave it this name because of its huge size, powerful body, and the evidence showing that it was one of the most successful hunters of its time. Even after many years of research, Tyrannosaurus rex continues to attract great interest because new discoveries keep helping scientists understand more about its life. This dinosaur lived during the late Cretaceous period, around 68 million to 66 million years ago. During that time, the land that is now Western North America looked very different from today. Wide rivers crossed the landscape, forests covered large areas, and there were open plains filled with many kinds of plants. The climate was warmer than it is in many parts of North America today. Many different animals shared this environment, including other dinosaurs, small mammals, turtles, crocodile relatives, flying reptiles, and early birds. Tyrannosaurus rex lived among these animals and played an important role in its ecosystem. An adult Tyrannosaurus rex could grow to about 43 feet in length. From the ground to its hips, it stood around 12 feet tall. Its head alone could grow to more than 5 feet in length. Its body was deep and heavy, supported by 2 very strong hind legs. Its long tail stretched behind it and helped keep its body balanced while it walked or ran. Every part of its body worked together to support its great weight and help it move across the land. The skull of Tyrannosaurus rex was one of its most remarkable features. It was very large, wide at the back, and built with many strong bones joined together. The openings in the skull helped reduce weight while still keeping it strong enough to handle powerful bites. Large muscles were attached to the back of the skull and the lower jaw. These muscles allowed the dinosaur to close its jaws with tremendous force. Scientists have studied the shape of the skull and found that it was designed to handle great pressure without breaking. The jaws of Tyrannosaurus rex contained many large teeth. These teeth were thick, strong, and shaped differently from the sharp, narrow teeth seen in many other meat-eating dinosaurs. Instead of being thin like knives, the teeth of Tyrannosaurus rex were wider and stronger. They were built to crush, grip, and break through flesh and bone. Some teeth were longer than a person's hand. Their edges had tiny saw-like markings that helped cut through meat, while the thick shape helped prevent the teeth from breaking during feeding. One of the most important facts about Tyrannosaurus rex is that it had one of the strongest bite forces ever known in any land animal. Scientists reached this conclusion by studying its skull, jaw muscles, teeth, and fossil remains. Computer models, careful measurements, and studies of living animals all helped researchers estimate the strength of its bite. When Tyrannosaurus rex closed its jaws, the pressure was great enough to crush large bones. Fossil bones with deep bite marks show that its teeth pressed into hard bone with enormous force. Many fossils of plant-eating dinosaurs have been discovered with bite marks that match the teeth of Tyrannosaurus rex. Some bones were broken while others show deep holes where the teeth entered. Scientists have also found pieces of bone that appear to have passed through the digestive system of Tyrannosaurus rex. This suggests that it often swallowed broken bone along with meat. Its powerful stomach acids likely helped break down these hard materials, so the nutrients inside could be absorbed. The teeth of Tyrannosaurus rex were replaced throughout its life. Like many reptiles today, it could grow new teeth after old ones were damaged or lost. A replacement tooth slowly developed beneath an older tooth. When the older tooth fell out, the new one moved into place. This process helped keep the dinosaur ready to hunt and feed even if some of its teeth became worn from biting into bone. The eyes of Tyrannosaurus rex faced forward instead of pointing towards the sides of the head. This allowed both eyes to focus on the same object at the same time. Scientists believe this gave the dinosaur excellent depth perception. Good depth perception helps an animal judge distance accurately. This ability would have been useful when following moving prey or deciding exactly where to bite. The eye sockets of Tyrannosaurus rex were shaped in a way that may have helped protect the eyes during feeding. Large prey animals often struggled when attacked. A strong skull and protected eyes would have reduced the chance of injury. Fossil evidence shows that many Tyrannosaurus rex individuals survived injuries during their lives, suggesting that they were able to recover from wounds and continue living. The sense of smell in Tyrannosaurus rex was probably very well developed. Scientists studied the inside of fossil skulls using modern scanning technology. These scans revealed large areas that supported the nerves connected with smell. A strong sense of smell would have helped the dinosaur detect prey, find animal remains, recognize members of its own species, and possibly locate suitable places to live. Its hearing was also likely very good. The inner ear structures preserved inside fossil skulls give scientists clues about how it detected sound. Research suggests that Tyrannosaurus rex may have been especially sensitive to lower sound frequencies. Low sounds can travel long distances, making them useful for detecting movement or communicating across large areas. The brain of Tyrannosaurus rex was larger than the brains of many earlier meat-eating dinosaurs. Although it was still much smaller than the human brain, it contained areas connected with vision, smell, movement, and balance that appear to have been well developed. Scientists believe its brain was suitable for controlling such a large body while processing information from its senses. Its neck was thick, muscular, and very powerful. Strong neck muscles supported the heavy skull and helped control the head during feeding. After biting into prey, the neck muscles could pull backward or twist the head to tear away pieces of meat. These muscles also helped lift heavy food from the ground. The front arms of Tyrannosaurus rex remain one of its most discussed features. They were much shorter than its hind legs, but they were not weak. Studies of the arm bones show that they were heavily built and supported large muscles. Each hand had 2 strong fingers ending in sharp claws. Although the exact purpose of the arms is still debated, scientists believe they were useful for gripping objects at close range or helping during feeding. The hind legs were among the strongest parts of its body. Thick bones supported the animal's great weight. Large muscles attached to the hips and legs provided the strength needed for walking, turning, and moving across different kinds of ground. The feet had large claws that helped provide grip while walking over soil, sand, or muddy areas. Its long tail contained many strong muscles connected to the legs. The tail acted as a balancing structure that kept the heavy head and body steady during movement. Without such a tail, walking would have been much more difficult because the weight at the front of the body needed to be balanced. Scientists continue to study exactly how fast Tyrannosaurus rex could move. Earlier ideas suggested that it may have been able to run very quickly, but more recent research indicates that its great size placed limits on its speed. Even so, it was likely able to move fast enough to catch many large plant-eating dinosaurs living in the same environment. Its powerful legs allowed it to travel across long distances while searching for food. Young Tyrannosaurus rex individuals looked different from fully grown adults. They had longer legs, lighter bodies, and narrower skulls. These features may have allowed younger animals to move more quickly while hunting smaller prey. As they grew older, their bodies became heavier, their skulls became broader, and their bite became much stronger. This change allowed adults to hunt larger animals than younger individuals could manage. Scientists have learned much about the growth of Tyrannosaurus rex by studying its fossil bones. Just as trees produce growth rings, dinosaur bones contain growth lines that can reveal age. By cutting very thin sections from damaged fossil bones and examining them under microscopes, researchers can estimate how old an individual was when it died. These studies suggest that Tyrannosaurus rex grew slowly during its earliest years and then entered a period of very rapid growth before reaching adulthood. During this rapid growth period, a young Tyrannosaurus rex gained a great amount of body weight each year. This required large amounts of food. As its body increased in size, its muscles became stronger, its bones thickened, and its skull continued to develop. Eventually it reached full adult size, although some individuals may have continued growing slowly for the rest of their lives. Scientists have discovered fossils of Tyrannosaurus rex in several places across western North America. Many important fossils have been found in areas that are now part of the United States and Canada. Rivers, floods, and layers of mud buried the bodies of some dinosaurs after death. Over millions of years, minerals replaced much of the original bone material, creating fossils that could survive until modern times. Some Tyrannosaurus rex skeletons are nearly complete. These fossils allow scientists to study the animal in great detail. Complete skeletons reveal the shape of the body, the arrangement of the bones, and signs of injuries or disease. They also help researchers understand how muscles were attached and how the dinosaur may have moved. Many Tyrannosaurus rex fossils show evidence of healed injuries. Broken ribs, damaged jaws, injured feet, and other wounds sometimes healed before the animal died. This shows that individuals could survive serious injuries. The healing seen in the bones indicates that these dinosaurs often lived for months or years after being hurt. Some fossils also show signs of infection. Certain jaw bones contain rough areas where disease may have affected the tissue. Scientists continue to study these marks to understand the health problems that Tyrannosaurus rex experienced during its lifetime. Fossils provide important evidence because they preserve changes that happened while the animal was still alive. Researchers continue to debate whether Tyrannosaurus rex hunted live prey most of the time, fed mainly on dead animals, or did both. Many scientists think it likely hunted whenever the opportunity appeared, and also fed on animal remains when available. Modern meat-eating animals often use both methods because each provides food when conditions change. Large plant-eating dinosaurs living in the same region included horned dinosaurs, duck-billed dinosaurs, and armored dinosaurs. These animals formed an important part of the environment where the Tyrannosaurus rex lived. Fossils showing bite marks suggest that encounters between Tyrannosaurus rex and these animals happened during the late Cretaceous period. The skin of Tyrannosaurus rex is still being studied. Small pieces of fossil skin discovered with some skeletons show scales covering parts of the body. Some scientists also suggest that young Tyrannosaurus rex may have had simple feathers covering parts of their bodies during early life. although direct evidence remains limited. Adult animals were probably covered mostly with scales, especially across much of the body. The color of Tyrannosaurus rex remains unknown because pigments do not usually survive in fossils over such long periods. Scientists cannot determine its exact appearance from fossil bones alone. Artists create different color patterns based on modern animals and the environments where Tyrannosaurus rex lived, but these remain scientific ideas rather than confirmed facts. Reproduction in Tyrannosaurus rex is not fully understood, because complete nests and eggs directly linked to this species have not yet been confirmed. Scientists believe it laid eggs, as other dinosaurs did. The young probably hatched from these eggs after developing inside protective shells. Hatchlings would have been much smaller than adults and faced many dangers from other predators. As young Tyrannosaurus rex individuals grew, their needs changed. Small animals probably formed an important part of their early diet. With increasing size came stronger jaws and larger teeth, allowing them to eat larger prey. This gradual change reduced competition between young and adult individuals because they likely hunted different kinds of animals. Scientists use many different methods to study Tyrannosaurus rex fossils. Careful digging removes fossils from the ground without damaging them. Laboratory workers clean away surrounding rock using delicate tools. Modern scanning machines allow researchers to examine internal structures without cutting through valuable fossils. Computer programs help rebuild missing bones and create digital models showing how muscles and joints worked. Biomechanics is another important area of study. Scientists combine fossil evidence with engineering principles to understand movement, balance, and bite strength. These studies examine how bones handled pressure, how muscles generated force, and how joints allowed movement. Such research continues to improve knowledge about the daily life of Tyrannosaurus rex. The discovery of each new fossil adds information to what is already known. One skeleton may preserve an unusual injury, another may contain stomach contents, while another may show details of growth. Every fossil provides another piece of evidence that helps researchers understand this famous dinosaur more clearly. Museums around the world display Tyrannosaurus rex skeletons because they are among the most complete and impressive dinosaur fossils ever discovered. Visitors can see the enormous skull, the powerful legs, the long tail, and the short but strong arms. These displays help people understand the true size of the animal and encourage interest in paleontology, the scientific study of ancient life. Scientists continue to examine older fossils using newer technology. High-resolution scanning, detailed measurements, and computer analysis allow discoveries that were not possible many years ago. Fossils collected long ago still provide valuable information, because modern methods can reveal details that earlier researchers could not detect. Research on Tyrannosaurus rex continues every year. New fossil discoveries, fresh scientific studies, and improved technology help answer old questions, while also raising new ones. Scientists carefully test each new idea using fossil evidence, measurements, and repeated observations. This careful process allows knowledge about Tyrannosaurus rex to become more detailed over time, while remaining based on evidence preserved in the rocks left behind from the ancient world. Spinosaurus aegyptiacus was one of the most unusual meat-eating dinosaurs that ever lived on Earth. It is known to scientists from fossils that were found in North Africa. The name Spinosaurus means spine lizard. The second part of its scientific name, Aegyptiacus, refers to Egypt, where the first fossils of this dinosaur were discovered. This animal lived during the late Cretaceous period, many millions of years before humans appeared. At that time, the part of North Africa where it lived was very different from the dry deserts that exist there today. Instead of endless sand, there were wide rivers, green floodplains, marshes, lakes and wetlands that supported many kinds of living things. Spinosaurus grew to an enormous size. Scientists believe that some adults reached a length of about 50 feet. This made it the largest known carnivorous dinosaur that has been discovered so far. It had a long body, a long tail, and a long, narrow skull. Its body was built in a way that was different from many other large meat-eating dinosaurs. Every part of its skeleton shows that it had its own special way of living and hunting. The skull of Spinosaurus was long, low, and narrow. It looked very different from the skulls of many other meat-eating dinosaurs. Instead of having a short and deep head, Spinosaurus had a head that stretched far forward. This shape helped it catch slippery animals that lived in water. The jaws were filled with many sharp teeth. These teeth were shaped like cones instead of thin blades. They did not have large cutting edges. Their shape helped the dinosaur grip fish without the teeth breaking easily. The teeth fit together well when the mouth closed, making it harder for struggling prey to escape. Near the front of its snout were small openings called nostrils. These nostrils were placed farther back than those of many other dinosaurs. Scientists think this may have allowed the front part of the snout to stay in the water, while the animal could still breathe. The snout itself contained many tiny openings that carried nerves. These nerves may have helped the dinosaur detect movement in the water. Small waves created by swimming fish may have been noticed through these sensitive parts of the snout. This would have made it easier for Spinosaurus to find prey even when the water was cloudy. The eyes of Spinosaurus were placed higher on the skull than many scientists once expected. This position may have helped the animal watch its surroundings while much of its head remained close to the surface of the water. Good eyesight would have helped it notice fish, reptiles and other animals moving nearby. Its hearing and sense of smell were also important in helping it survive, although scientists continue to study how strongly it depended on each sense. One of the most famous features of Spinosaurus was the very tall spines rising from its back. These spines were extensions of the bones of the backbone. Some of them grew several feet above the rest of the body. Skin covered these long spines and formed a large sail along the back. This sail made Spinosaurus easy to recognize. Scientists have discussed its purpose for many years. Some believe it helped the animal control body temperature. Others think it was used to attract mates, or to make the dinosaur appear larger during displays. It may also have helped members of the same species recognize one another. It is possible that the sail had more than one purpose during the animal's life. The neck of Spinosaurus was fairly long and strong. It supported the heavy skull and allowed the dinosaur to move its head quickly while searching for prey. Strong muscles connected the neck to the shoulders and backbone. These muscles helped hold up the head and gave the animal the strength needed to catch struggling prey. The front legs of Spinosaurus were powerful. Each hand had large fingers ending in long curved claws. One claw on each hand was especially large. These claws could have been used to catch prey, pull animals closer, dig into riverbanks, or help the dinosaur rise from the ground. They were also useful for holding on to slippery fish that tried to escape. The arms were much stronger than many people once believed, showing that they played an important role in the dinosaur's daily activities. The back legs of Spinosaurus were shorter than scientists first expected. Earlier fossil discoveries were incomplete, leading many people to imagine the animal standing much like other large meat-eating dinosaurs. Later discoveries showed that its legs were relatively short compared with its body. This body shape may have made it easier for the dinosaur to move in shallow water. Shorter legs also lowered the center of the body, helping maintain balance while walking through rivers and wetlands. The feet of Spinosaurus were broad. Some scientists think they may even have had webbing between the toes, although direct proof has not been found. Wide feet would have spread the animal's weight over soft ground, reducing the chance of sinking into mud. They may also have helped while moving through shallow water. The tail of Spinosaurus was one of the most important discoveries made in recent years. Fossils showed that the tail was tall and flexible. Instead of being narrow and round, it had long extensions that formed a deep shape from top to bottom. Scientists believe this tail worked well for swimming. By moving it from side to side, the dinosaur could push itself through the water. Computer studies and physical models suggest that the tail was powerful enough to provide strong movement in rivers and lakes. This discovery changed many earlier ideas about how Spinosaurus lived. The bones of Spinosaurus were also different from those of many other large dinosaurs. Studies suggest that some of its bones were more solid and heavier. Heavier bones can help an animal remain under the water instead of floating too easily. This feature is also seen in several living animals that spend much of their time in water. Because of this evidence, many scientists believe that Spinosaurus was well adapted for an active life along rivers and wetlands. The environment where Spinosaurus lived was rich in life. Large rivers flowed across the land. Floods regularly changed the landscape. Thick plants grew along the riverbanks. Ferns, early flowering plants, conifers, and other vegetation covered many areas. These plants supported plant-eating dinosaurs and many smaller animals. Fish filled the rivers and reptiles lived both in the water and on land. Flying reptiles passed overhead while insects, turtles, crocodile relatives, and many other creatures shared the same environment. The rivers of North Africa during the late Cretaceous were home to some of the largest fish that ever lived in fresh water. Some fish reached enormous sizes. These giant fish provided an important food source for Spinosaurus. Its long jaws and cone-shaped teeth were especially useful for catching these large animals. A fish struggling in the water required a strong grip, and the dinosaur's teeth were well suited for this task. Scientists think that Spinosaurus often searched for food by walking slowly through shallow water. It may have lowered its head toward the surface while watching for movement below. When it noticed a fish, it could quickly snap its jaws shut. Its sharp teeth would grip the prey firmly. The dinosaur could then lift its head and swallow its catch. At other times, it may have entered deeper water and used its strong tail to swim after prey. Fish were probably the most common part of its diet, but Spinosaurus likely ate many other animals whenever the opportunity appeared. It may have hunted smaller dinosaurs that came near the water to drink. It could have caught turtles, crocodile relatives, and other reptiles. It probably also fed on dead animals that it found along riverbanks. Like many large meat-eating animals, it likely took advantage of any food that was available. Giganotosaurus carolini was one of the largest meat-eating dinosaurs that ever lived on Earth. It lived during the late Cretaceous period in what is now South America. At that time, the land looked very different from the way it does today. The continents had already started moving towards their present positions, but they were still changing. The area where this dinosaur lived contained wide river plains, forests, lakes, open spaces and places filled with many kinds of plants. These environments supported a rich variety of animals, giving large predators many opportunities to find food. The name Giganotosaurus carolini has an interesting meaning. The first part of its name means giant southern lizard. The word southern refers to the southern part of the world where its fossils were discovered. The second part of its scientific name honors the man who first found its remains. Scientists give many newly discovered animals names that recognize people who played an important part in their discovery or study. The first fossils of Giganotosaurus were discovered in Argentina. The remains were found in rocks that formed many millions of years ago. These rocks preserved the bones after the dinosaur died. Over a very long time, layers of mud, sand, and other materials covered the skeleton. As the layers became harder, the bones turned into fossils. Long after the dinosaur disappeared, natural processes slowly uncovered parts of the fossil, allowing people to find them. When scientists examined the bones, they quickly realized they belonged to a dinosaur that had never been identified before. The skeleton was very large and included many important bones. These fossils allowed researchers to estimate the dinosaur's size, understand its body shape, and study how it may have lived. Even though not every bone was found, the preserved remains provided enough information to describe the animal in great detail. Giganotosaurus had a very large body built for hunting other animals. It walked on two strong back legs while keeping its body balanced with a long, heavy tail. The tail helped it remain stable while moving. Its front legs were much shorter than its back legs, but they were still useful. Each hand carried sharp claws that could help the animal hold struggling prey or assist during feeding. Its head was very large and supported by a powerful neck. The skull was long and deep, giving enough space for large jaw muscles. These muscles allowed the jaws to close with great force. The dinosaur's mouth contained many long teeth that had sharp edges. These edges were covered with tiny points that worked like the edge of a cutting tool. Instead of crushing food, these teeth were especially suited for cutting through skin, muscles, and other soft tissues. The teeth were replaced throughout the dinosaur's life. If one tooth broke or fell out while feeding, another tooth gradually grew into its place. This replacement system helped the animal keep an effective set of teeth even after years of hunting. Many meat-eating dinosaurs had this ability, allowing them to continue feeding without losing their hunting success because of damaged teeth. The skull also contained large openings that reduced its weight. These openings allowed the head to stay lighter while still remaining strong. A lighter skull required less energy to move and placed less strain on the neck muscles. This design helped the dinosaur move its head quickly while attacking prey or tearing away pieces of meat. Its eyes faced partly forward, giving the dinosaur good depth perception. This helped it judge distance when approaching prey. Accurate vision was important for a hunter because it needed to know exactly when to bite. The position of the eyes also allowed the animal to observe its surroundings and notice movement from a distance. Scientists believed that Giganotosaurus had a well-developed sense of smell. The parts of its skull connected with smelling suggest that it could detect scents carried by the wind. This ability may have helped it find injured animals, locate dead animals for food, or follow the movements of living prey. Smell was likely one of several senses that work together during hunting. Its hearing may also have been useful. Although scientists cannot know exactly how well it heard, studies of its skull suggest that it could detect sounds that were important in its environment. Listening for movements, calls from other animals, or sounds made by struggling prey would have helped it survive. The neck of Giganotosaurus contained strong muscles attached to large bones. These muscles allowed it to support its heavy head and move it with force. After biting an animal, the neck muscles could pull backward, helping the dinosaur tear away pieces of flesh. Strong neck muscles also helped the animal control its head while feeding. The body of Giganotosaurus was covered with skin. No complete skin covering has been preserved for this dinosaur, so scientists cannot describe every detail with complete certainty. However, based on evidence from closely related dinosaurs, its skin was likely covered with scales of different sizes. Some areas may have had larger scales while others had smaller ones. These scales protected the body from injury and helped reduce water loss. Its powerful back legs supported its enormous weight. The bones were thick and strong, allowing the dinosaur to move across different kinds of ground. Large muscles attached to these bones gave it the strength needed to walk, turn, and chase prey when necessary. Although it was very large, its body structure suggests that it could still move with reasonable speed over short distances. Each foot had several toes ending in large claws. These claws helped provide grip while walking across soft ground, muddy riverbanks, or uneven surfaces. Stable footing was important for such a large animal because slipping during a hunt could lead to injury. The tail was one of the longest parts of the body. Strong muscles connected the tail to the hips, helping balance the front part of the body. As the dinosaur walked or ran, the tail moved in ways that helped keep the body stable. Without such a large tail, carrying the heavy head would have been much more difficult. Giganotosaurus lived in an environment filled with many different kinds of dinosaurs. Large plant-eating species traveled across the plains and forests searching for food. Some fed on leaves from tall trees, while others ate lower plants growing close to the ground. These animals formed the main food source for large predators. Young, old, injured, or isolated individuals were probably easier targets than healthy adults. Scientists think that Giganotosaurus mainly hunted very large plant-eating dinosaurs. Its size, powerful jaws, and sharp teeth suggest that it was capable of attacking enormous prey. Hunting such animals required strength, careful timing, and the ability to deliver serious injuries. A successful bite could cause deep cuts, leading to heavy blood loss and weakness in the prey. Some scientists have suggested that Giganotosaurus may sometimes have hunted together with others of its own kind. This idea comes from discoveries of related dinosaurs found in the same general areas and from the large size of the animals they hunted. If group hunting happened, several individuals could have worked together to surround or weaken large prey. However, direct proof that Giganotosaurus always hunted in groups has not been found. It is also possible that many individuals simply gathered around the same food source after an animal had died. Like other large predators, Giganotosaurus probably did not waste opportunities to eat animals that were already dead. Finding a fresh carcass required much less energy than chasing living prey. Using its strong jaws and sharp teeth, it could quickly remove large pieces of meat. Scavenging was likely an important part of its feeding behavior whenever such opportunities appeared. Growing to such a huge size required a large amount of food. Young Giganotosaurus individuals probably ate much smaller animals because they could not overpower giant prey. As they grew larger and stronger, they became capable of hunting increasingly bigger animals. Their diet changed throughout their lives as their bodies developed. Scientists study the microscopic structure inside fossil bones to learn how quickly dinosaurs grew. Growth rings preserved within the bones provide valuable information about different stages of life. These studies suggest that large meat-eating dinosaurs experienced periods of rapid growth while they were young. During these years, their bodies increased in size quickly before their growth gradually slowed as they reached adulthood. The bones of Giganotosaurus show signs of being well adapted to support a massive body. The leg bones were thick and the joints were built to carry heavy loads. Each step placed great pressure on the skeleton, so strong bones were necessary to prevent injury during daily movement. The hips formed an important connection between the legs and the rest of the body, allowing powerful muscles to move the animal efficiently. Giganotosaurus shared its environment with many other living things. The land where it lived supported forests made up of ancient trees, along with open areas where smaller plants covered the ground. Rivers carried fresh water across the landscape, creating places where many animals gathered to drink. During different times of the year, changes in rainfall probably affected the amount of water available. These changes influenced where animals traveled and where large predators searched for food. The climate was generally warm. Many kinds of plants were able to grow throughout the region because the weather supported steady plant growth. Ferns spread across the ground in many places, while conifers and other ancient trees formed wooded areas. Flowering plants had already begun to appear in some regions during this period, adding to the variety of plant life. This rich vegetation supported large populations of plant-eating dinosaurs, which in turn provided food for large hunters such as Giganotosaurus. The rivers were important parts of the environment. They supplied water to both plants and animals, and carried sediments that slowly formed the rock layers in which dinosaur fossils would later be preserved. Animals often gathered near these rivers because they offered water, food, and shelter. Large predators likely visited these same places, knowing that many potential prey animals would eventually arrive. Life for Giganotosaurus was not always easy. Finding enough food required patience, strength, and careful movement. A failed attack meant that valuable energy had been wasted. A large predator needed to balance the energy spent during hunting with the amount of food gained after a successful kill. Every injury also carried serious risks. Even a wound that seemed small could become dangerous if it became infected or reduced the dinosaur's ability to hunt. Large plant-eating dinosaurs were capable of defending themselves. Many had powerful tails, strong legs, or other body features that could injure an attacking predator. Some lived in groups, making it more difficult for a hunter to separate a single individual. Young animals that became separated from adults may have been easier targets. Older animals weakened by age or disease may also have been more vulnerable than healthy adults. Scientists study marks left on fossil bones to learn about feeding behavior. Some fossil bones from prey animals contain tooth marks made by large meat-eating dinosaurs. These marks help researchers understand how predators fed and which body parts they may have eaten first. Tooth marks can also reveal whether different predators fed from the same carcass after the animal had died. The bite of Giganotosaurus produced deep cuts because of the shape of its teeth. Instead of crushing bones into small pieces, its teeth were especially effective at slicing through flesh. During feeding, the dinosaur probably used repeated bites to remove pieces of meat. Strong neck muscles helped pull the head backward after each bite, making it easier to separate flesh from the body. Its jaws opened wide enough to bite large sections of prey. The joints connecting the lower jaw to the skull allowed smooth movement while maintaining strength. Every part of the head worked together during feeding. The teeth, jaw muscles, neck muscles, and skull all played important roles in allowing the animal to eat large amounts of food. The brain of Giganotosaurus was much smaller than the rest of its body, as is common in many dinosaurs. Even so, it was well suited for controlling the animal's movements and senses. The brain processed information received from the eyes, ears, nose, muscles, and skin. Fast communication between the brain and the body helped the dinosaur react to changes in its surroundings. Its skin likely varied across different parts of the body. Larger scales may have covered areas needing greater protection, while smaller scales may have covered places requiring more flexibility. Although scientists cannot describe its exact color because color is rarely preserved in fossils, different shades may have helped the animal blend into its surroundings while moving through forests and open areas. Young Giganotosaurus probably looked different from fully grown adults. They were much smaller, lighter, and likely faster. As they grew, their bones became thicker, their muscles became stronger, and their skulls increased greatly in size. The teeth also became larger and more powerful as the young animals matured. Growth continued over many years before they reached full adult size. Like other dinosaurs, Giganotosaurus reproduced by laying eggs. Adult females probably searched for suitable nesting places where eggs could be protected until they hatched. Scientists have not discovered a confirmed nest belonging to Giganotosaurus, so many details about its nesting behavior remain unknown. Information from other meat-eating dinosaurs suggests that eggs were buried or placed in carefully prepared nests where warmth helped the young develop. After hatching, young dinosaurs faced many dangers. They were much smaller than adults and could become prey for other meat-eating animals. Many probably did not survive to adulthood because ancient ecosystems contained many predators. Those that survived continued growing steadily while learning to find food and avoid danger. As the young matured, they gradually became capable of hunting larger prey. Their growing size allowed them to travel farther and defend themselves more effectively. Every stage of growth brought new challenges, and only a small number likely reached full adult size. Disease and injury were natural parts of life. Fossil bones sometimes preserve signs of healed fractures, infections, or damage caused by bites. Such evidence shows that some dinosaurs survived serious injuries for long periods before dying. Healing required time and enough food to support recovery. Strong individuals that recovered from injuries may have continued living for many more years. Old age also affected dinosaurs. Teeth became worn through repeated use. Bones experienced years of stress from carrying great body weight. Movement may have become slower with age, making hunting more difficult. Older individuals may have depended more on scavenging when opportunities became available. The discovery of Giganotosaurus attracted worldwide attention because it represented one of the largest meat-eating dinosaurs ever identified. Fossil discoveries in Argentina expanded scientific knowledge about the diversity of giant predators that once lived in South America. Each new fossil added valuable information about the animals that lived there during the late Cretaceous period. Excavating such large fossils requires careful work. Scientists first remove loose soil and rock using small tools. As more bones become visible, they are cleaned gently to prevent damage. Large fossils are protected with strong coverings before being transported to laboratories. There, additional cleaning and study may continue for many months or even years. After the fossils are fully prepared, researchers carefully measure every preserved bone. They compare these measurements with fossils from related dinosaurs to understand similarities and differences. Modern computer programs help create digital models showing how the skeleton may have looked when complete. These models also help scientists study movement and estimate body weight. Many museums display casts of Giganotosaurus skeletons. These displays allow visitors to appreciate the enormous size of this dinosaur, while protecting the original fossils from unnecessary handling. Although many questions remain unanswered, each fossil contributes valuable evidence. Careful scientific study continues to improve our understanding of how Giganotosaurus lived, hunted, grew, reproduced, and survived in the ancient landscapes of South America many millions of years before humans appeared on Earth. Velociraptor was one of the best-known meat-eating dinosaurs that lived during the late Cretaceous period. Even though it was much smaller than many other famous predators, it was still a skilled hunter that had many features that helped it survive. Scientists have learned about this dinosaur by studying its fossil bones, the rocks where those fossils were found, and many years of careful research. Each new discovery has helped people understand how Velociraptor lived, how it hunted, how it moved, and how it interacted with the world around it. Although many movies have shown this dinosaur as much larger than it really was, the real animal was smaller, but still very effective as a predator. Velociraptor lived about 75 million to 71 million years ago, during the later part of the Cretaceous period. Its fossils have been discovered mainly in what is now Mongolia and nearby parts of northern China. During that time, these areas looked very different from today. The land included dry plains, sandy regions, low hills, river channels, and places where plants could grow after seasonal rains. There were also dunes formed by wind, along with patches of shrubs, small trees, ferns, and flowering plants. This changing environment supported many different animals, giving Velociraptor many opportunities to find food. The name Velociraptor means swift thief. Scientists chose this name because they believed the dinosaur was quick, active, and able to capture prey efficiently. The first fossils of Velociraptor were discovered during scientific expeditions in Mongolia in the early part of the 20th century. These discoveries became very important because they showed that Asia was home to many different kinds of dinosaurs. Since then, more fossils have been found, allowing scientists to learn much more about this remarkable animal. Velociraptor was not a giant dinosaur. An adult usually measured about 6.5 feet. From its head to the end of its tail, it stood only around 2 feet tall at the hips and weighed roughly 30 pounds. Even though it was not large, every part of its body was suited for active hunting. It had a long body, a flexible neck, strong legs, long arms, and a stiff tail that helped it keep its balance while moving quickly. Its skull was long and fairly low with a narrow shape that reduced unnecessary weight. The jaws were filled with many sharp teeth. These teeth were curved backward, making it easier to grip struggling prey. Their edges had tiny serrations that allowed the teeth to cut through flesh. When Velociraptor bit an animal, these teeth helped hold the prey securely while causing serious injuries. The jaws were powered by strong muscles that gave the dinosaur a firm bite. Although its bite was not the strongest among meat-eating dinosaurs, it was more than enough for an animal of its size. The teeth and jaws worked together with the claws on its hands and feet, allowing Velociraptor to capture prey effectively. Its eyes faced partly forward, giving it good depth perception. This helped it judge distances while chasing moving animals. Good vision was important because a hunting animal needed to react quickly to sudden changes in the movement of its prey. Scientists believe Velociraptor could see well during daylight, although it is difficult to know exactly how well it could see in dim light. Its sense of smell was probably well developed. A strong sense of smell could help it detect injured animals, locate prey hidden among plants, or discover the remains of dead animals. Like many meat-eating animals, Velociraptor may have taken advantage of any food source that became available instead of relying only on active hunting. Its hearing was also likely important. Good hearing would allow it to notice sounds made by animals moving through vegetation or across loose ground. Even small noises could help a hunter locate prey before it came into view. One of the most famous features of Velociraptor was the large curved claw on the second toe of each foot. This claw was much larger than the other claws. When walking, the dinosaur held this claw raised above the ground to keep it sharp. During an attack, the claw could be brought down against the prey. Scientists have discussed exactly how this claw was used. Some believe it helped grip prey securely, while others think it caused deep wounds. It may have served both purposes depending on the situation. The other toes also ended in sharp claws that helped provide grip while running. Together, the feet gave Velociraptor excellent control over its movements. Strong leg muscles allowed it to move quickly across different types of ground. Its forelimbs were longer than many people once believed. Each hand had 3 fingers ending in curved claws. These claws could grasp struggling prey and help hold it in place while the jaws delivered bites. The arms were flexible enough to bring prey close to the body during an attack. For many years, people imagined Velociraptor with rough, scaly skin covering its entire body. Later fossil discoveries changed that idea. Scientists found clear evidence that Velociraptor had feathers. Small bumps on one of its arm bones showed where feathers had been attached. These attachment points are similar to those found in modern birds. The feathers probably covered much of the body. Since Velociraptor was too heavy to fly, these feathers were not used for flight. Instead, they may have helped keep the animal warm, protected the skin, displayed signals to other members of its species, or covered eggs while nesting. Feathers also show that many meat-eating dinosaurs shared important features with birds. Its tail was long and stiff because of special bones and tendons that supported it. This stiff tail acted as a balancing structure whenever the dinosaur turned suddenly while running. Quick changes in direction are important during hunting because prey often attempts to escape by making unexpected movements. The tail helped Velociraptor remain stable without losing speed. Scientists believe Velociraptor was an active animal that spent much of its time searching for food. It probably walked over large areas each day while looking for opportunities. Small dinosaurs, young animals, reptiles, mammals, and other available prey may all have been part of its diet. It may also have eaten eggs whenever it found nests that could be reached safely. Evidence suggests that Velociraptor sometimes attacked prey larger than itself. One of the most famous fossils ever discovered shows a Velociraptor locked in combat with a plant-eating dinosaur called Protoceratops. The two animals appear to have died during their struggle, possibly after being buried suddenly by collapsing sand. In this fossil, the claw of Velociraptor is positioned near the neck of its opponent, while the plant-eater is biting one of the predator's arms. This discovery provides direct evidence that Velociraptor actively fought dangerous prey. The question of whether Velociraptor hunted in packs remains uncertain. Some scientists have suggested that working together would have helped these dinosaurs attack larger animals. Others believe the available evidence is not strong enough to prove true pack hunting. It is possible that several individuals gathered around the same food source without forming organized hunting groups. Modern animals show many different forms of social behavior, and Velociraptor may have had its own pattern that scientists have not yet fully understood. Its brain was relatively large for a dinosaur of its size. Studies of the inside of its skull suggest that it had well-developed areas related to balance, movement, and the senses. This does not mean it had intelligence similar to humans, but it does indicate that it could process information efficiently enough to support active hunting and rapid movement. Its nervous system allowed quick reactions whenever prey suddenly changed direction or attempted to escape. Scientists also study the inner ear of fossil skulls, because this structure helps reveal how an animal balanced its body and moved its head. Research suggests that Velociraptor had good balance, allowing it to maintain stability while running, turning, and attacking moving prey. This balance worked together with its vision, muscles, and stiff tail to create an animal that could react quickly during hunting. The bones of Velociraptor were light but strong. Light bones reduced body weight, making movement easier, while strong joints allowed repeated running and active hunting without easily breaking under normal stress. Its skeleton shows many signs of adaptation for an energetic lifestyle. The legs, hips, shoulders, neck, and spine all work together to produce fast and controlled movement. Its neck was flexible enough to allow quick movements of the head. This flexibility helped it deliver bites from different angles during an attack. Once prey was caught, the neck muscles could help pull flesh away while the teeth held firmly. The shape of the shoulders and arms allowed Velociraptor to bring its hands toward the front of its body. This movement made it easier to grasp prey after making contact. The fingers were long and each ended in a sharp, curved claw. These claws were not only useful during hunting, but may also have helped while climbing over obstacles, digging through loose ground, or handling food before eating it. Every part of the forelimbs worked together with the jaws and feet to increase the chances of a successful hunt. The muscles attached to the hips and upper legs were especially important. These muscles produced the force needed for running, jumping, and making sudden changes in direction. Strong leg muscles also allowed the dinosaur to push off the ground quickly when chasing prey or escaping from larger predators. Although scientists cannot directly study the muscles because they do not become fossils, they can estimate their size and strength by examining the places where the muscles were attached to the bones. The feet of Velociraptor were built for movement across different kinds of ground. It could travel over sandy areas, firm soil, and rocky surfaces. The raised sickle-shaped claw remained off the ground while walking, helping to keep its sharp edge from wearing down. When the dinosaur attacked, this claw could be brought forward with great speed. Some researchers believe it was mainly used to grip prey securely instead of making deep cuts. Once the prey was held in place, the jaws and teeth could do most of the work. The body of Velociraptor was covered with feathers that likely varied in size depending on the part of the body. The feathers on the arms were probably longer than those on other areas. Scientists believe that young individuals may have had soft feathers that helped keep them warm. As they grew older, the feathers became more developed. Since Velociraptor could not fly, these feathers probably helped with body temperature, communication, and protecting eggs during nesting. The discovery of feather attachment points on the arm bones became one of the strongest pieces of evidence connecting many dinosaurs with modern birds. This finding showed that feathers were not limited to animals capable of flight. Instead, feathers had several different functions long before birds became the successful flying animals seen today. Velociraptor became one of the best examples supporting this important scientific idea. Like all animals, Velociraptor needed food regularly to survive. Hunting required energy, and energy had to be replaced by eating. A successful hunt meant that the dinosaur could remain healthy, continue growing, and eventually reproduce. An unsuccessful hunt meant spending even more energy searching for another opportunity. Because of this, Velociraptor probably tried to choose prey that gave the greatest chance of success while limiting the risk of injury. Injuries were serious dangers for wild animals. Even a small broken bone or deep wound could reduce the ability to hunt. Fossils of some Velociraptor individuals show signs of healed injuries, proving that at least some animals survived accidents or attacks. Healing required time, meaning these individuals managed to stay alive while recovering. Scientists continue studying such fossils to understand how often injuries occurred and how they affected the lives of these dinosaurs. The environment where Velociraptor lived contained many other animals. Plant-eating dinosaurs searched for leaves, seeds, and other vegetation. Small mammals lived among plants and underground burrows. Lizards, turtles, insects, and early birds also shared the same habitats. Rivers and temporary pools attracted animals looking for water. These different forms of life created many feeding opportunities for predators. Velociraptor itself also faced danger. Larger meat-eating dinosaurs lived in the same general region during parts of the late Cretaceous period. If a larger predator found a velociraptor, it could become prey instead of hunter. Young velociraptors were probably especially vulnerable because they were smaller and less experienced. Eggs and newly hatched young also faced threats from many animals searching for easy meals. Reproduction played an important role in the survival of the species. Like other dinosaurs, Velociraptor reproduced by laying eggs. Although no complete velociraptor nest has yet been found with complete certainty, fossils of closely related feathered dinosaurs provide valuable clues. The eggs were likely placed in carefully prepared nests on the ground. The parents may have arranged the eggs in circles or groups to make incubation more effective. Scientists believe that at least one parent probably remained near the nest for some time. The feathers covering the body may have helped keep the eggs at a suitable temperature. Fossils of related feathered dinosaurs have been found resting on top of their nests with their arms spread over the eggs, suggesting that similar nesting behavior may have existed in Velociraptor. When the young hatched, they were much smaller than adults. During the first part of their lives, they needed protection from predators and harsh weather. Their bodies continued growing over several years. As they matured, their bones became stronger, their muscles increased in size, and their hunting skills improved through experience. Young velociraptors probably hunted smaller animals before attempting larger prey. This gradual learning process would have allowed them to gain experience without taking unnecessary risks. Observing older individuals may also have helped younger animals learn where to search for food and how to react to danger, although direct evidence for this behavior has not been discovered. Scientists continue studying microscopic growth lines inside fossil bones. These growth lines are somewhat similar to growth rings in trees and can provide information about the age of an individual when it died. Such studies suggest that Velociraptor grew steadily before reaching adulthood. Growth rates may have changed depending on food availability, environmental conditions, and the health of the individual. The climate during the late Cretaceous period in Central Asia was not always the same throughout the year. Some seasons were probably drier than others. Winds could move large amounts of sand across the landscape. Rainfall likely varied from one season to another, influencing plant growth and the movements of animals searching for food and water. Velociraptor had to adapt to these changing conditions throughout its life. The famous fighting dinosaurs, fossil discovered in Mongolia, provides one of the clearest pictures of dinosaur behavior ever found. Instead of showing only bones lying separately, it preserves two animals in the middle of an attack. Scientists believe a sudden collapse of sand buried both animals before either could escape. Because of this unusual event, their final positions remained almost exactly where they had struggled. This fossil has become one of the most valuable discoveries in dinosaur research because it records actual behavior rather than only body structure. Modern technology has greatly increased scientific knowledge about Velociraptor. High-resolution scanning allows researchers to study fossils without damaging them. Three-dimensional computer models help scientists examine the inside of bones, joints and skulls. These methods reveal details that earlier researchers could not observe. New discoveries continue to improve understanding of how this dinosaur moved, hunted, grew and lived. Scientists also use computer programs to estimate the forces acting on bones during movement. By studying the shape of joints and the attachment points of muscles, they can estimate how quickly Velociraptor could move its legs, neck and jaws. Although these estimates cannot provide exact answers, they allow researchers to test different possibilities using evidence preserved in the fossils. The study of fossil footprints also contributes valuable information. While no footprint can always be linked with complete certainty to Velociraptor itself, footprints made by similar small meat-eating dinosaurs show that these animals walked with balanced, efficient movements. The footprints also reveal how weight was distributed across the feet and how the raised second toe may have remained above the ground while walking. Scientists continue to debate many details about Velociraptor because fossil evidence is never completely perfect. New fossils sometimes support earlier ideas, while other discoveries require previous interpretations to be changed. This process is a normal part of science. Every new fossil adds another piece to the larger picture of how a Velociraptor lived millions of years ago. The popularity of Velociraptor increased greatly during the late part of the 20th century, after it appeared in books, documentaries, and films. These appearances introduced millions of people to the dinosaur, although many fictional versions showed it as much larger than the real animal. Later scientific discoveries about feathers encouraged artists and museums to create more accurate reconstructions based on fossil evidence. As a result, many modern illustrations now show Velociraptor with feathered arms, a feather-covered body, a long, stiff tail, and the raised sickle-shaped claw that made it one of the most recognizable meat-eating dinosaurs known from the fossil record. Carcharodontosaurus saharicus was one of the largest meat-eating dinosaurs that ever lived. Its name means shark-toothed lizard. This name was chosen because its teeth had sharp edges that reminded scientists of the teeth of a shark. Even though it had this name, it was not a shark and it did not live in the sea. It was a land dinosaur that lived during the age of the dinosaurs in what is now North Africa. It walked on two powerful legs, had a long tail for balance, a large head, and a mouth filled with long, sharp teeth that were made for cutting into the flesh of other animals. This dinosaur lived during the late Cretaceous period, many millions of years before humans appeared. During that time, the part of the world where its fossils have been found looked very different from the dry deserts that exist there today. Large rivers flowed across the land and there were forests, floodplains, lakes, and wet areas that supported many different kinds of plants and animals. The climate was warm and life was abundant. Huge plant-eating dinosaurs moved through these environments, and they provided food for large predators such as Carcharodontosaurus saharicus. The first fossils of this dinosaur were discovered in North Africa. These fossils helped scientists understand that a giant meat-eating dinosaur had once lived in this region. Some of the earliest remains were found in Egypt during the early part of the 20th century. Sadly, many of these important fossils were destroyed during the Second World War. Their loss made it much harder for scientists to study this dinosaur because they had to depend on written descriptions, drawings and photographs instead of the original bones. Many years later, additional fossils were discovered in Morocco and other parts of the Sahara. These new discoveries gave scientists another chance to study the animal. They found parts of the skull, jaws, and other bones that showed many important details about its body. Each new fossil added more information about its size, its way of life, and its place among other large meat-eating dinosaurs. Carcharodontosaurus saharicus belonged to a group of dinosaurs called Carcharodontosaurids. Members of this group were large predators that lived in different parts of the ancient world. They shared many features, including long skulls, powerful jaws, and sharp teeth with cutting edges. These dinosaurs developed into some of the largest hunters of their time and lived in environments that supported many kinds of large prey. One of the most striking features of Carcharodontosaurus saharicus was its skull. The skull was very large and stretched far in front of the eyes. It was built from many bones that were joined together to form a strong structure. Openings in the skull reduced its weight while still allowing it to remain strong enough for hunting. Large eye sockets held eyes that probably gave the animal good vision. Good eyesight would have helped it notice movement and locate prey over long distances. Its jaws were filled with many large teeth. These teeth were not smooth. They had tiny saw-like edges along their sides. These edges helped the teeth cut through flesh. The teeth curved slightly backward, making it easier to keep hold of struggling prey after a bite. If a tooth became damaged or fell out, another tooth slowly grew to replace it. This process happened throughout much of the dinosaur's life, allowing it to continue hunting even after losing teeth. Each tooth was deeply rooted inside the jaw. The roots held the teeth firmly in place while the dinosaur bit into food. The teeth were covered with hard enamel that protected them from wear. Even with this protection, heavy use during hunting and feeding could damage them. The constant growth of replacement teeth solved this problem by giving the animal a fresh set of cutting tools whenever older teeth were lost. The neck of Carcharodontosaurus saharicus contained strong muscles that supported its heavy head. These muscles allowed the dinosaur to lift, lower, and turn its head while searching for food or attacking prey. Strong neck muscles also helped it pull pieces of meat away from the bodies of large animals after making a successful kill. Its body was built for movement across land. It stood on two long hind legs that carried its great weight. These legs ended in large feet with several toes. Strong muscles powered each step and allowed the dinosaur to travel over long distances in search of food. Although it was a very large animal, its body structure suggests that it could move with purpose when necessary. It probably spent much of its time walking while searching for prey or moving through its territory. The tail was long and muscular. It acted as an important part of the body, by helping maintain balance while the dinosaur walked, turned, or changed direction. Many bones formed the tail and powerful muscles connected it to the hips. These muscles worked together with the legs to support movement. The front limbs were much smaller than the hind legs but were not useless. Each arm ended with clawed fingers that could have helped hold prey, steady the body while feeding, or assist in other activities. Scientists continue to study how these arms were used because only limited fossil evidence is available. Even though they were smaller than the legs, they were still part of the dinosaurs' hunting equipment. The skin of Carcharodontosaurus saharicus has not been fully preserved, so scientists cannot describe it with complete certainty. Most information comes from fossils of related dinosaurs and from the marks left where skin once covered the bones. It is generally believed that the body was covered with scales. These scales would have protected the skin from injury, reduced water loss, and formed a strong outer covering suitable for life in a warm environment. The color of this dinosaur is unknown. Fossils usually preserve bones rather than skin colors. Because of this, scientists cannot say exactly whether it was dark, light, spotted, or plain. Different ideas have been suggested, but there is no direct evidence showing its true appearance. Until fossils preserving skin pigments are discovered, its color will remain uncertain. Carcharodontosaurus saharicus probably spent much of its life searching for food. As a large meat-eater, it required a great amount of energy. Finding enough prey was necessary for survival. The rivers and floodplains of ancient North Africa supported many large plant-eating dinosaurs that could provide food for such a predator. Young animals, old individuals, injured animals, or isolated members of herds may have been easier targets than healthy adults. Scientists believed that this dinosaur depended on its senses while hunting. Good eyesight could help it notice movement. A strong sense of smell may have allowed it to detect animals or locate the bodies of dead creatures from a distance. Hearing may also have helped it notice sounds made by prey or other animals moving through the environment. Together, these senses would have helped it survive in a landscape filled with both opportunities and dangers. The bite of Carcharodontosaurus saharicus was extremely effective because of the shape of its teeth. Instead of crushing, the teeth sliced deeply into flesh. A single bite could leave serious injuries that caused heavy bleeding and damage to muscles and other soft tissues. Such wounds could weaken prey, making it more difficult for the animal to escape. This hunting method depended on the cutting ability of its long, sharp teeth. Scientists continue to study every new fossil discovery because each bone provides additional information about the life, growth, movement and hunting behavior of Carcharodontosaurus saharicus. Fossils found across the Sahara help researchers build a clearer picture of this giant predator and the ancient world in which it lived. As scientists discovered more fossils from North Africa, they were able to learn more about the shape and size of Carcharodontosaurus saharicus. Even though the fossil record is still incomplete, the available bones show that this dinosaur reached an enormous size. Adults could grow to a body length of around 40 feet or even slightly more, depending on the individual. Its body weight was several tons, making it one of the largest land predators known from the fossil record. Such a large body required strong bones, powerful muscles, and a steady supply of food to support daily life. The backbone of Carcharodontosaurus saharicus stretched from the neck to the end of the tail, each vertebra connected with the next, forming a flexible but strong column that supported the body. The vertebrae in the neck allowed the head to move in different directions. The vertebrae in the back supported the weight of the body, while those in the tail provided strength and balance. Strong muscles were attached to many of these bones, giving the dinosaur the power needed to move, hunt, and feed. Its ribs formed a protective cage around important organs such as the heart and lungs. These ribs also supported muscles that helped with breathing. Like other dinosaurs, Carcharodontosaurus needed a steady flow of oxygen to support its active lifestyle. Every movement from walking to attacking prey depended on muscles receiving enough oxygen through the bloodstream. The hips were broad and strong because they carried most of the animal's weight. The thigh bones were thick and powerful, supporting the body during movement. The knee joints, lower leg bones, and ankle bones all worked together to produce steady steps across different kinds of ground, whether moving across open floodplains, muddy riverbanks, or areas covered with plants. The legs had to remain stable under the weight of the animal. The feet ended in large toes equipped with strong claws. These claws were not as large as those found on some smaller hunting dinosaurs, but they still played an important role. They helped the dinosaur maintain a firm grip on the ground while walking, turning, or pushing forward during an attack. The structure of the feet spread the animal's weight over a larger surface, helping it move across softer ground without sinking too deeply. The arms of Carcharodontosaurus saharicus have attracted much attention because fewer fossils of the front limbs have been found than fossils of the skull. The available bones show that the arms were shorter than the legs, but still contained well-developed muscles. The claws at the ends of the fingers were curved and sharp. Scientists believe these claws may have been useful when holding struggling prey close to the body, or when tearing pieces of meat during feeding. The shoulder bones connected the arms to the rest of the skeleton. Strong muscles attached to these bones allowed the forelimbs to move with force. Although the exact range of motion remains uncertain, the structure suggests that the arms were not weak or useless. They likely performed several important tasks while the dinosaur was feeding or interacting with its surroundings. The skull remains one of the most important sources of information about this dinosaur. Fossils show that many openings were present in the skull. These openings reduced the overall weight while keeping the skull strong enough to withstand the forces created during biting. This design allowed the dinosaur to carry such a large head without making movement impossible. Inside the skull was a brain that controlled the body's movements and senses. Although the brain itself has not been preserved, scientists study the inside shape of fossil skulls to estimate its size and arrangement. The brain was not especially large when compared with the size of the body, but it was fully capable of controlling the activities needed for survival. Different parts of the brain processed information from the eyes, ears and nose, while also controlling balance, movement and muscle coordination. The eyes were positioned on the sides of the skull, giving the dinosaur a wide view of its surroundings. This arrangement allowed it to notice movement over a broad area. Detecting prey or other large animals from a distance would have increased its chances of finding food, while reducing the chance of being surprised by another large predator. The nostrils were located near the front of the snout. Air entered through these openings and travelled into the breathing passages. Scientists believed that the sense of smell was well developed. A strong sense of smell could help the dinosaur detect dead animals from far away, recognize the presence of living prey, or even identify members of its own species. The ears were hidden behind the skin and connected to openings in the skull. Although dinosaurs did not have external ears like many modern mammals, they were still able to hear sounds from their surroundings. Hearing may have helped Carcharodontosaurus notice the calls of animals, the movement of large prey through plants, or the sounds of other predators nearby. The environment where Carcharodontosaurus saharicus lived was rich in many forms of life. Rivers flowed through large areas of land, carrying water that supported forests and many kinds of plants. Ferns covered parts of the ground, while ancient conifers and other trees formed wooded areas. Flowering plants were beginning to spread during this period, adding even more variety to the landscape. Many reptiles shared this environment. Large crocodile relatives lived in rivers and lakes. Huge fish swam through the waterways, providing food for fish-eating animals. Flying reptiles moved through the skies, searching for fish or small animals. Smaller dinosaurs lived among the plants, feeding on insects, seeds, or leaves. Several kinds of large plant-eating dinosaurs also lived in the same region. These animals spent much of their time feeding on leaves, branches, and other plant material. Their great size offered some protection, but young, weak, sick, or injured individuals could become targets for large predators. Fossil evidence suggests that the ancient ecosystems of North Africa supported enough large animals to provide food for giant hunters like Carcharodontosaurus saharicus. Scientists continue to study marks left on fossil bones because these marks sometimes preserve evidence of feeding. Deep cuts and scratches made by sharp teeth can reveal how predators removed meat from carcasses. Some fossil bones from large plant-eating dinosaurs contain marks that match the shape and spacing of the teeth of giant meat-eating dinosaurs. Although it is not always possible to identify the exact animal that made each mark, these discoveries provide valuable clues about feeding behavior. Young Carcharodontosaurus probably looked different from fully grown adults. Like many reptiles and dinosaurs, they likely hatched from eggs. After hatching, they would have been much smaller and more vulnerable than their parents. Young individuals needed to grow steadily over many years before reaching their full size. During this time, their diet and hunting methods may have changed as they became larger and stronger. The eggs were probably laid in nests built on the ground. The exact appearance of these nests remains unknown, because no confirmed nest belonging to Carcharodontosaurus saharicus has been discovered. Scientists study the nesting behavior of related dinosaurs to develop possible ideas about how these animals reproduced. The eggs would have contained developing embryos that slowly grew until they were ready to hatch. Growth required large amounts of food. Bones preserve tiny growth lines that can be studied under microscopes. These lines help scientists estimate how quickly dinosaurs grew. Research on large meat-eating dinosaurs suggests that growth was especially rapid during certain stages of life before slowing as adulthood was reached. Not every young dinosaur survived. Eggs could be destroyed by floods, changing weather, or other animals searching for food. Newly hatched young also face dangers from predators because of their small size. Only a portion of each generation probably lived long enough to become fully grown adults. As more discoveries are made across the Sahara Desert and nearby regions, scientists continue to improve their understanding of Carcharodontosaurus saharicus. Every newly discovered fossil adds another piece of information about its anatomy, growth, behavior, and the ancient environment in which this giant predator lived. Utahraptor was one of the largest members of the Dromaeosaur family, a group of meat-eating dinosaurs that lived during the Cretaceous period. It was a powerful hunter that lived in what is now North America. Even though it belonged to the same family as Velociraptor, Utahraptor was much larger and much heavier. Its strong body, long legs, powerful jaws, sharp teeth, and especially its huge curved claws made it one of the most feared predators of its environment. Scientists believe it lived during the early part of the Cretaceous period, many millions of years before the dinosaurs disappeared from Earth. The name Utahraptor means Utah thief or Utah robber. It was given this name because its fossils were first discovered in the state of Utah, in the United States. The second part of its scientific name honors a paleontologist who made important contributions to the study of dinosaurs. Since its discovery, Utahraptor has attracted great attention because it showed that some members of the Dromaeosaur family were much larger than scientists had once believed. Before this discovery, many people imagined Dromaeosaurs as small and fast hunters. Utahraptor proved that some of them could grow into large and powerful animals. Utahraptor lived during a time when the land looked very different from today. Large rivers crossed the landscape and many forests covered wide areas. There were open plains, wetlands, and places filled with thick plants. The climate in many parts of its home was warm, and many kinds of plants grew there throughout the year. These rich environments supported large numbers of plant-eating dinosaurs, which in turn supported large meat-eating predators such as Utahraptor. The body of Utahraptor was built for hunting. Scientists estimate that it could grow to around 23 feet in length. It may have stood several feet tall at the hips and weighed close to 1,000 pounds. Although different fossil discoveries give slightly different estimates, there is little doubt that Utahraptor was one of the biggest dromaeosaurs ever discovered. Its body was muscular, giving it the strength needed to overpower struggling prey. One of the most famous features of Utahraptor was the enormous, curved claw on the second toe of each foot. These claws were much larger than those found in many of its smaller relatives. Each claw had a sharp point and a deep curve. Scientists believe these claws played an important role during hunting. Rather than walking on these claws, Utahraptor held them raised above the ground while moving. This helped keep the claws sharp and prevented them from wearing down as it walked. When Utahraptor attacked, it could bring these large claws forward with great force. The claws could cut deeply into the skin and muscles of another animal. Such injuries could cause severe bleeding and make it difficult for prey to escape. Even if the prey survived the first attack, serious wounds could weaken it quickly. The claws were also useful for holding on to struggling animals after they had been attacked. Its feet were strong and supported its heavy body while allowing it to move quickly across different kinds of ground. Strong leg muscles helped it run after prey or move rapidly when necessary. Although it may not have reached the highest running speeds of smaller dromaeosaurs, its combination of strength and speed made it a dangerous hunter. Utahraptor also possessed long arms with 3 fingers on each hand. Each finger ended in a sharp claw. These hand claws could grasp prey and help keep struggling animals under control. The arms were powerful enough to pull prey closer, while the jaws delivered repeated bites. This combination of claws and teeth allowed Utahraptor to attack from several directions at once. Its skull was long and contained many sharp, curved teeth. The teeth had small serrations along their edges. These serrations helped slice through meat more easily. The teeth were replaced throughout the animal's life. If one tooth broke during feeding or hunting, another tooth gradually grew to replace it. This continuous replacement ensured that Utahraptor always had effective teeth for catching and eating prey. The neck of Utahraptor was flexible and supported by strong muscles. This allowed the head to move quickly during an attack. A fast movement of the head could help deliver repeated bites to different parts of the prey's body. Strong neck muscles also helped tear pieces of meat from a carcass after the prey had died. Its body was balanced by a long, stiff tail. The tail contained long bones supported by special structures that reduced side-to-side movement. This stiff tail acted as a balancing organ while the animal turned, ran, or changed direction. Good balance was important during hunting because prey often tried to escape suddenly. A balanced body allowed Utahraptor to respond quickly to these movements. Scientists believe that Utahraptor was covered with feathers over much of its body. Fossil discoveries from related species strongly support this idea. These feathers were probably not used for flight because Utahraptor was far too large to fly. Instead, the feathers may have helped keep its body warm, protected its skin, or played a role in communication between members of its own species. Young individuals may have had thicker feather coverings than adults. The eyes of Utahraptor faced partly forward, giving it good depth perception. This would have helped judge distances accurately while hunting. Correctly judging the distance to prey is important for a predator because an attack often depends on precise timing. Good eyesight also helped detect movement across forests, plains, or riverbanks. Its sense of hearing was probably well developed. Good hearing would allow it to notice the sounds made by moving animals even when they were hidden by plants. Smell was likely another important sense. By following scents, Utahraptor could locate prey, find carcasses left by other predators, or recognize members of its own species. The environment where Utahraptor lived contained many kinds of dinosaurs. Large plant-eating dinosaurs moved across forests and open land in search of food. Smaller plant-eaters also lived there, feeding on low-growing plants, leaves, and seeds. These animals provided many possible food sources for meat-eating predators. Some scientists think Utahraptor may have hunted alone much of the time. Others have suggested that it may sometimes have hunted in groups. Fossil discoveries showing several individuals together have led to discussions about possible group behavior. However, scientists continue to debate this idea because fossils cannot always show whether animals actually hunted together or simply died in the same place. More discoveries may provide clearer answers in the future. If Utahraptor hunted with others, working together could have allowed the group to attack larger prey than a single individual could safely handle. Several hunters attacking at once could confuse prey and reduce its chances of escape. Group hunting might also allow individuals to protect one another, while attacking dangerous animals capable of defending themselves. If Utahraptor usually hunted alone, it was still a highly capable predator. Its powerful body, large claws, and sharp teeth gave it the tools needed to attack many different animals. Solitary hunting would reduce competition with others of its own kind during the attack, although competition for food would still occur after a successful kill. Young Utahraptors probably depended on adults during the earliest part of their lives. Like many other dinosaurs, they hatched from eggs laid in nests. The eggs were protected until the young emerged. Newly hatched individuals were much smaller than adults and would have faced many dangers from larger predators. If adults cared for the young, such protection would increase the chances of survival during the first stages of life. As Utahraptor grew, its bones became stronger and its muscles increased in size. Young animals probably hunted smaller prey before gradually moving on to larger animals as they matured. This gradual change would allow developing hunters to gain experience while avoiding unnecessary risks. The bones of Utahraptor show that it had a strong skeleton capable of supporting heavy muscles. The hips, legs, shoulders, and backbone all work together to produce powerful movements. Every part of the body contributed to successful hunting, whether by running, turning, gripping prey, or delivering powerful bites. Like many predators, Utahraptor probably selected prey based on opportunity. It may have attacked young, old, injured, or isolated animals when possible, because these individuals were often easier to catch. Healthy adults of large plant-eating species could defend themselves with horns, clubs, powerful tails, or strong kicks. Hunting always involved danger, even for a skilled predator. Utahraptor may also have eaten animals that had already died. Feeding on carcasses would provide valuable food without the risks involved in hunting. Many meat-eating animals take advantage of such opportunities whenever they arise. Finding a fresh carcass would save energy that would otherwise be spent chasing prey. Competition with other meat-eating dinosaurs was probably common. When several predators found the same food source, aggressive encounters could occur. Utahraptor's large size and powerful claws would help it defend a carcass or drive away smaller competitors. However, larger predators could also threaten Utahraptor under certain conditions. Fossils show that Utahraptor lived in an ecosystem filled with many different forms of life: small mammals, early birds, lizards, turtles, crocodile relatives, fish, insects, and many other animals shared its environment. Rivers and lakes supported aquatic life, while forests and open plains supported many land animals. Every species played a role in maintaining the balance of the ecosystem. The discovery of Utahraptor fossils provided scientists with important information about the evolution of dromaeosaurs. Before these fossils were found, many researchers believed large dromaeosaurs were uncommon or did not exist. Utahraptor demonstrated that this family included species of impressive size and strength. Later discoveries of other large dromaeosaurs in different parts of the world added to this growing understanding. Scientists carefully study every fossil bone to learn about Utahraptor's life. Bones reveal information about muscle attachment, movement, growth, injuries, and age. Some fossils preserve marks left by disease or healed injuries, showing that these animals sometimes survived serious accidents during their lives. Modern technology has greatly improved the study of Utahraptor. Detailed scans allow researchers to examine the inside of bones without damaging them. Computer models help estimate how the muscles functioned and how the animal walked or ran. These methods continue to improve scientific understanding of this dinosaur. Paleontologists continue searching for additional Utahraptor fossils because every new discovery provides fresh information. Complete skeletons are especially valuable because they allow scientists to understand how different parts of the body fit together. Even small fossil fragments can answer important questions when carefully studied alongside earlier discoveries. Utahraptor remains one of the most important predators known from the early Cretaceous period. Its large size, powerful muscles, sharp teeth, enormous curved claws, keen senses, and active hunting lifestyle made it a successful meat-eating dinosaur in ancient North America. Its fossils continue to expand scientific knowledge about dinosaur anatomy, behavior, growth, evolution, and the ancient environments where these remarkable animals once lived. Allosaurus fragilis was one of the best-known meat-eating dinosaurs that lived during the late Jurassic period. It was one of the largest land predators of its time and ruled the ancient landscapes where many giant plant-eating dinosaurs lived. Fossils of this dinosaur have helped scientists learn a great deal about how large predators lived, hunted, moved, and survived during the Jurassic world. The remains of Allosaurus fragilis have been discovered in parts of what is now the United States and Portugal, giving researchers important information about its appearance, behavior, and the environment in which it lived. The name Allosaurus means different lizard, while the word fragilis means fragile. The second part of the name was chosen because some of the bones collected during its discovery appeared lighter and more delicate than those of some other dinosaurs known at that time. Allosaurus fragilis lived during the late Jurassic period, around 155 million to 145 million years ago. During this time, the Earth looked very different from today. The continents were arranged differently, and large areas of land were covered with forests, floodplains, rivers, lakes, and open spaces filled with many kinds of plants. Warm temperatures supported rich ecosystems where enormous dinosaurs lived. Giant plant-eating dinosaurs moved through these lands in search of food, while predators such as Allosaurus searched for opportunities to catch prey. The places where Allosaurus lived contained many different kinds of trees and other plants. There were tall conifers, ferns, horsetails, cycads, and seed ferns growing across the landscape. Flowering plants had not yet spread widely across the earth. Thick vegetation provided food for large plant-eating dinosaurs, which in turn became food sources for large predators. Rivers flowed across wide plains, creating wetlands and fertile areas where many animals gathered to drink and feed. Allosaurus fragilis was a large dinosaur with a long body, a powerful tail, strong back legs, and shorter front limbs. An adult usually reached a length of about 28 to 34 feet, although some individuals may have grown even larger. This means many adults measured around 8.5 to a little more than 10 meters in length. Scientists believe large adults could weigh between 1 and 2 metric tons, although different studies have suggested slightly different body weights. The exact size depended on the age, health, and growth of each individual animal. The skull of Allosaurus was one of its most important hunting tools. It was large but built with many openings that helped reduce its weight without making it too weak. This lighter skull allowed the dinosaur to move its head more quickly while hunting. The jaws contained many long, sharp, curved teeth with tiny, saw-like edges. These edges helped the teeth cut into flesh when the animal bit its prey. The teeth were not meant for crushing bones. Instead, they were designed to slice through skin, muscle, and other soft tissues. The teeth of Allosaurus were replaced throughout its life. If one tooth broke while attacking prey or feeding on a carcass, another tooth slowly grew to replace it. This constant replacement was common among many meat-eating dinosaurs and helped keep their mouths filled with working teeth. Broken teeth found in fossils show that hunting large animals could place great pressure on the jaws. The jaws of Allosaurus were powerful and could open very wide. Scientists studying the bones believe the animal may have used its head in a downward motion while biting. This movement could have allowed the sharp teeth to cut deeply into the body of its prey. Strong neck muscles helped control these movements and supported the weight of the large head. Above each eye was a small bony crest. These crests were not large horns, but they gave the dinosaur a unique appearance. Scientists have suggested that these crests may have helped members of the same species recognize one another. They may also have played a role in attracting mates or showing health and maturity. Since the crests were made of bone, they remain preserved in many fossils, allowing researchers to study their shape. The eyes of Allosaurus faced partly forward, giving the dinosaur some overlap in its field of vision. This likely improved its ability to judge distance while hunting. Good depth perception would have helped it strike accurately at moving prey. The large eye sockets suggest that vision was an important sense for this predator. Its sense of smell was also probably well developed, allowing it to detect prey or the remains of dead animals from a distance. The neck of Allosaurus was strong and flexible. It supported the large skull and allowed the head to move in different directions while hunting or feeding. Powerful muscles connected the neck to the shoulders and back, helping the dinosaur control its head during attacks. The body of Allosaurus was balanced by a long, muscular tail. The tail acted as an important part of the animal's movement. It helped keep balance while walking, running, and turning. The tail also contained strong muscles that supported the powerful back legs during movement. The back legs of Allosaurus were much longer and stronger than its front limbs. These legs carried most of the animal's weight and allowed it to move across different kinds of ground. Large muscles attached to the hips and legs gave the dinosaur the strength needed to chase prey, travel long distances, and defend itself when necessary. Fossil footprints and studies of its skeleton suggest that Allosaurus could move at a steady pace and probably reach higher speeds for short periods. The feet had 3 main toes pointing forward, each ending in a sharp claw. Another smaller toe pointed backward and did not touch the ground during normal walking. The claws gave the feet a firm grip on the ground and may have helped hold struggling prey during attacks. The front limbs of Allosaurus were much shorter than its back legs, but they were still strong and useful. Each hand had 3 fingers ending in large, curved claws. These claws could grip, slash, and hold prey during an attack. Strong muscles in the arms suggest they played an important part in hunting. They may also have helped the dinosaur rise from the ground after resting or assisted while feeding. The skin of Allosaurus has not been completely preserved, but scientists believe it was covered with scales. Fossil skin impressions from related dinosaurs show patterns of small scales across different parts of the body. There is no direct evidence that Allosaurus was covered in feathers. While some smaller meat-eating dinosaurs had feathers, the available evidence suggests that Allosaurus mainly had scaly skin. Like many dinosaurs, Allosaurus began life by hatching from an egg. Female dinosaurs probably laid eggs in nests built on the ground. The eggs would have been buried partly in soil or covered with plant material to help protect them and keep them warm. Young dinosaurs broke through their eggshells, using a special structure on the snout called an egg tooth, which disappeared after hatching. Young Allosaurus looked similar to adults but had different body proportions. They had relatively longer legs, lighter bodies, and smaller heads. These features may have helped young animals move quickly while avoiding danger. As they grew older, their skulls became larger, their muscles became stronger, and their bodies became heavier. Growth rings inside fossil bones show that Allosaurus grew rapidly during its younger years before reaching full adult size. Scientists studying fossil bones have found evidence that not every Allosaurus grew at exactly the same rate. Some individuals reached adulthood sooner than others, while some continued growing for a longer period. Food supply, health, weather conditions, injuries, and other factors probably affected growth. Allosaurus was a meat-eater that depended on other animals for food. Large plant-eating dinosaurs living in the same environment included long-necked sauropods such as Diplodocus, Apatosaurus, Camarasaurus, and Brachiosaurus, along with armored dinosaurs like Stegosaurus. Smaller plant-eaters and other reptiles also lived in the same ecosystems. These animals formed a rich food supply for large predators. Scientists believe Allosaurus hunted large herbivores using its powerful jaws and sharp claws. It may have approached prey quietly before launching a quick attack. Once close enough, it could bite deeply with its sharp teeth while using its arms and claws to help control the struggling animal. Large prey would often fight back, making hunting dangerous. Fossils showing broken bones and healed injuries suggest that Allosaurus sometimes suffered wounds during these encounters. Some researchers believe Allosaurus hunted alone much of the time, while others think it may sometimes have hunted in groups. Fossil discoveries showing several individuals in one place have led to discussions about possible social behavior. However, these discoveries do not prove that the animals hunted together. They may simply have gathered around the same food source or died during the same event. Scientists continue to study this question because fossil evidence does not yet provide a complete answer. Allosaurus probably did not refuse the chance to feed on animals that had already died. Finding a dead dinosaur would have provided an easy meal without the dangers of hunting. Many modern meat-eating animals both hunt and eat carcasses, and scientists believe Allosaurus likely behaved in a similar way. Bite marks found on fossil bones suggest that it fed on carcasses whenever the opportunity appeared. The bite marks left by Allosaurus have been found on the bones of several plant-eating dinosaurs. Some of these marks show signs of healing, meaning the injured animals survived the attack for some time. Other bones show bite marks without healing, suggesting the attacks happened shortly before death or while the predator fed after the animal had died. The famous fossil site, known as the Cleveland Lloyd Dinosaur Quarry, has produced the remains of many Allosaurus individuals. This unusual site contains an unusually large number of Allosaurus fossils, mixed with the remains of other dinosaurs. Scientists have suggested several explanations for why so many predators gathered there. Some believe animals became trapped in muddy ground while trying to feed on dead or struggling dinosaurs. Others think repeated droughts or floods may have concentrated bones in one place. The exact reason remains uncertain. Allosaurus shared its environment with several other meat-eating dinosaurs, including Ceratosaurus and Torvosaurus. These predators probably hunted different kinds of prey or searched for food in slightly different parts of the environment. Living in the same region meant that competition for food sometimes occurred. Large carcasses could attract several predators at once, leading to aggressive encounters. The strong claws on the hands of Allosaurus were valuable during hunting. They could grip prey, pull flesh, or help hold onto an animal during an attack. The claws were sharply curved and supported by powerful finger bones. Wear patterns on the claws show that they experienced heavy use during the animal's life. The skeleton of Allosaurus shows that it had many air spaces inside certain bones. These spaces reduced body weight while keeping the skeleton strong. Similar features are also seen in birds today. A lighter skeleton allowed the large predator to move more efficiently across its environment. Scientists have learned much about Allosaurus by studying complete skeletons, isolated bones, fossil footprints, and microscopic structures inside the bones. Modern scanning technology allows researchers to create detailed digital models of the skull and skeleton without damaging the fossils. These studies help scientists understand movement, growth, muscle attachment, and feeding behavior. Many fossil skeletons show healed injuries. Some animals survived broken ribs, damaged limbs, infections, and other serious wounds. These healed bones show that Allosaurus often lived for months or even years after suffering injuries. Such wounds may have been caused by hunting large prey, fighting with other Allosaurus individuals, accidents, or environmental hazards. Bone infections have also been discovered in several fossils. These infections sometimes changed the shape of the bone while the animal was still alive. Even with these health problems, some individuals continued living long enough for healing to occur. This shows that Allosaurus could survive significant physical stress. Scientists estimate the age of individual Allosaurus fossils by examining thin slices of bone under microscopes. Growth rings inside the bones are somewhat similar to rings found in trees, although they form differently. Counting these rings helps estimate the age of the dinosaur when it died. Studies suggest many individuals reached adulthood after several years of rapid growth. The brain of Allosaurus was relatively small compared to its body, but it contained the structures needed to process information from the senses and control movement. The shape of the brain has been studied using natural molds inside fossil skulls and modern scanning methods. These studies suggest that vision, smell, balance, and movement were all important for daily survival. The inner ear helped Allosaurus maintain balance while moving. Its structure suggests that the dinosaur could keep its head stable while walking or running. Stable head movement would have helped maintain clear vision during the hunting. The climate during the late Jurassic changed from season to season. Wet periods supported rivers and plant growth, while drier times reduced water supplies in some areas. Animals had to adjust to these changing conditions. During dry seasons, many animals may have gathered near remaining water sources, increasing the chances that predators would find prey. Floods sometimes buried animals quickly under mud and sand. Rapid burial protected bones from weathering and scavengers, allowing fossils to form over millions of years. Minerals slowly replaced the original bone material, preserving the shape of the skeleton inside rock layers. The first scientifically recognized remains of Allosaurus were described during the 19th century. Since then, many additional skeletons have been discovered, making it one of the best-known large meat-eating dinosaurs. Museums around the world display skeletons of Allosaurus because so many well-preserved fossils have been found. These displays allow visitors to study its size, posture, and anatomy. The rich fossil beds of the Morrison Formation have produced most of the known Allosaurus remains. This geological formation stretches across several western states in the United States and contains fossils from many Jurassic animals and plants. It has become one of the most important sources of information about life during the late Jurassic. Scientists continue to debate certain details about Allosaurus behavior. Questions remain about exactly how it hunted, whether it lived in family groups, how often it scavenged, and how quickly it could run. New fossil discoveries and improved research methods continue to provide fresh information that helps answer these questions. Every new fossil adds another piece of information. Even a single tooth, claw, footprint, or bone fragment can reveal details about movement, feeding, growth, disease, or the environment. Careful excavation and detailed laboratory work allow researchers to study these remains without causing damage. Tracks believed to belong to large meat-eating dinosaurs provide additional clues about movement. These footprints show how the animals walked across soft ground millions of years ago. The spacing between footprints helps estimate walking speed, while the depth of each print gives information about body weight and the condition of the ground. The muscles of Allosaurus do not survive in fossils, but scientists can estimate their size and position by studying the places where muscles attach to bones. Computer models based on these attachment points help researchers understand how the dinosaur moved its limbs, opened its jaws, and carried its body. The lungs of Allosaurus have not been preserved, but evidence from the skeleton suggests that the animal had an efficient breathing system with air sacs connected to parts of the skeleton. Such a system would have supplied oxygen effectively during movement and hunting. The digestive system also remains unknown because soft organs rarely become fossilized. Scientists believe Allosaurus swallowed large pieces of meat that were broken down inside the stomach with the help of strong digestive acids. Like many meat-eating animals, it probably consumed large meals whenever food was available because successful hunts may not have happened every day. The life of Allosaurus depended on finding enough food, avoiding serious injuries, surviving changing weather, and reaching adulthood. Young animals faced dangers from other predators, disease, accidents, and lack of food. Adults faced fewer natural enemies but still risked injury while hunting large herbivores or competing over carcasses. Allosaurus fragilis remains one of the most carefully studied meat-eating dinosaurs because of the large number of fossils discovered over many years. Its skeleton provides valuable evidence about the structure of Jurassic predators, while fossilized teeth, footprints, healed injuries, and bite marks continue to improve scientific understanding of its daily life, growth, feeding habits, movement, and the ancient ecosystems in which it lived throughout the late Jurassic period. Carnotaurus was one of the most unusual meat-eating dinosaurs that ever lived. It walked across the land during the late Cretaceous period in what is now South America. Scientists believe it lived around 70 million years ago, during a time when dinosaurs still ruled the land. The world looked very different from today. The continents had already moved into positions that were becoming more familiar, although they were still changing slowly. Warm climates covered much of the planet, and many kinds of dinosaurs, reptiles, birds, insects, and plants lived in different environments. Carnotaurus was one of the top predators that lived in its region and played an important part in the natural balance of its ecosystem. The name Carnotaurus means meat-eating bull. This name was chosen because of the pair of thick horns growing above its eyes. These horns were one of its most noticeable features and made it easy to recognize from other dinosaurs. Few meat-eating dinosaurs had horns like these. Although scientists continue to study exactly how the horns were used, they agree that they were a real part of the skull and not simply skin or decoration. The horns gave Carnotaurus a very different appearance from other large predators that lived before or after it. The first fossils of Carnotaurus were discovered in Argentina. The remains were found in rocks that formed during the late Cretaceous period. The discovery was especially important because the skeleton was one of the most complete large meat-eating dinosaur skeletons ever found in South America. The fossil included the skull, much of the backbone, the hips, the legs, the tail, the arms, and even impressions of the skin in several places. These preserved skin impressions gave scientists valuable information that is rarely available for large dinosaurs. Because of this remarkable fossil, researchers have been able to study the animal in much greater detail than many other meat-eating dinosaurs. The dinosaur was officially described by scientists in the middle of the 1980s. Since then, many studies have been carried out to understand how it lived, how it hunted, how it moved, and how it grew. Every new study has added more details to the picture of this remarkable predator. While some questions remain unanswered, scientists now know much more about Carnotaurus than they did when it was first discovered. Carnotaurus had a body that was built for active movement. It was not a slow animal. Its body was strong and muscular with long, powerful legs that allowed it to move quickly over open ground. The muscles of its hips and legs were especially well developed. These muscles gave the dinosaur the strength needed to run after prey or move rapidly when necessary. Researchers studying the bones have found many signs that the legs were designed for speed rather than heavy pushing or climbing. The tail of Carnotaurus was long and powerful. It helped balance the body while the dinosaur walked or ran. Strong muscles attached to the tail and the hips, helping produce powerful movements of the legs. The tail stayed raised above the ground while the dinosaur moved. This balanced position allowed the body to remain stable and reduced unnecessary movement that could slow the animal down. Every part of the skeleton shows that balance was important for efficient movement. One of the most striking features of Carnotaurus was its head. The skull was shorter than the skulls of many other large meat-eating dinosaurs. Even though it was short, it was strongly built. Thick bones surrounded the eyes and the top of the head. The horns above the eyes projected upward and slightly outward. These horns were made of solid bone and were covered with a layer of living tissue when the animal was alive. Scientists believe the horns continued to grow as the dinosaur matured. The exact purpose of the horns is still discussed by researchers. Some think they may have been used during contests between members of the same species. Two animals may have pushed against each other using their heads. Others believe the horns may have helped attract mates or served as a sign of age and health. It is also possible that the horns provided some protection during close contact with struggling prey. Because no one can directly observe living Carnotaurus, scientists continue to examine fossils and use computer studies to test different ideas. The eyes of Carnotaurus faced mostly forward, giving the dinosaur a good view of the area in front of its head. This may have helped it judge distances while moving quickly or preparing to attack prey. Good vision would have been valuable when hunting in areas where fast reactions were necessary. Like many predators, Carnotaurus depended on its senses to locate animals, avoid danger, and move safely through its environment. Its jaws contained many sharp teeth. These teeth were curved backward, helping hold struggling prey after a bite. The edges of the teeth were sharp enough to cut through flesh. New teeth grew throughout the dinosaur's life. When one tooth became damaged or fell out, another developed beneath it and eventually replaced it. This constant replacement ensured that the animal always had effective teeth for feeding. Although the bite of Carnotaurus may not have been the strongest among meat-eating dinosaurs, its jaws were still powerful enough to capture and kill prey. Scientists believe it relied on speed, quick attacks, and repeated bites, rather than depending only on crushing force. The shape of its skull suggests that rapid head movements may have been important during hunting. Fast bites could injure prey, causing blood loss and weakening the animal before it escaped very far. The neck of Carnotaurus was muscular and flexible. Strong neck muscles allowed it to move its head quickly in different directions. These muscles also supported the weight of the skull and helped control the force of each bite. During feeding, the neck worked together with the jaws to tear pieces of meat from the body of its prey. The body of Carnotaurus was covered by skin that had a rough texture. The preserved skin impressions discovered with the fossils showed that much of the body was covered with small scales. Larger raised bumps were scattered among the smaller scales. These bumps created a rough surface across different parts of the body. This discovery was important because skin impressions from large dinosaurs are uncommon. The preserved skin allowed scientists to study features that usually disappear before fossilization. No feathers have been found with the known Carnotaurus fossils. Based on the available evidence, scientists believe that the body was covered mainly by scales. Future discoveries could always provide new information, but the fossils currently available strongly support a scaly body covering. One of the most surprising parts of Carnotaurus was its tiny arms. They were even smaller than those of some other famous meat-eating dinosaurs. The upper arm was short and the lower arm was also very limited in length. The hands were extremely reduced and could not reach far in front of the body. These arms probably played only a small role in daily activities. Scientists continue to investigate whether they were used for balance, mating, or other behaviors, but they clearly were not the main tools for catching prey. Because the arms were so small, Carnotaurus depended mainly on its jaws, neck, legs, and body strength during hunting. The legs allowed it to move rapidly while the jaws delivered damaging bites. The strong body muscles gave the animal the power needed to control its movements during an attack. The legs were among the most important parts of the skeleton. The thigh bones, lower leg bones, and feet all show features linked with efficient running. Long lower legs increased stride length, allowing the animal to cover more ground with each step. Strong muscles attached to the bones, giving the legs both speed and power. Scientists studying computer models of its movement have suggested that Carnotaurus may have been one of the faster large meat-eating dinosaurs. Its feet had 3 main weight-bearing toes. Each toe ended with a sharp claw. These claws provided grip while running across different kinds of ground. The claws also helped support the body during sudden turns or quick stops. They may have assisted during attacks by helping the dinosaur keep its balance while struggling with prey. Carnotaurus probably hunted medium-sized dinosaurs and other animals living in its environment. The exact list of prey remains uncertain because direct evidence is limited. Fossils from the same rock layers show that many plant-eating dinosaurs shared the landscape with Carnotaurus. Smaller reptiles, mammals, birds, and other creatures also lived there. Carnotaurus likely took advantage of whatever prey was available and suitable for its size and hunting abilities. Scientists also believe that Carnotaurus may sometimes have eaten dead animals. Scavenging is common among many modern meat-eating animals because it provides food without the risk of hunting. A large predator would not ignore an easy meal if it found the body of an animal that had already died. Fossil evidence from many ancient ecosystems suggests that both hunting and scavenging were normal feeding behaviors for large carnivorous dinosaurs. The environment where Carnotaurus lived included rivers, floodplains, forests, and open areas. Different types of plants covered the land. Flowering plants were becoming increasingly common, although many older plant groups still existed. Large conifers, ferns, cycads, and other vegetation formed the background of the landscape. Seasonal changes probably affected rainfall, water levels, and plant growth, influencing where animals gathered throughout the year. The climate was generally warm. There were no permanent ice sheets at the poles during this time. Warm temperatures supported a wide variety of life across much of the planet. Carnotaurus lived among many different kinds of animals, including turtles, crocodile relatives, snakes, lizards, insects, flying reptiles, birds, mammals, and numerous dinosaurs. Each species filled its own place within the ecosystem. Scientists studying the bones of Carnotaurus have also learned about its growth. Young individuals would have started life much smaller than adults. As they grew, their bones became thicker and stronger. The horns increased in size, the muscles became more powerful, and the body reached its full adult form over several years. Like other dinosaurs, growth probably depended on food availability, environmental conditions, and overall health. Bone tissue preserves tiny growth patterns that can sometimes be studied under a microscope. These patterns helped scientists estimate the age of an individual when it died. Research into dinosaur bone growth continues to improve, giving experts a better understanding of how animals, like Carnotaurus, developed from hatchlings into powerful adults. Deinonychus was a meat-eating dinosaur that lived during the Cretaceous period in what is now North America. It is one of the best-known dinosaurs discovered by scientists because its fossils provided important information about the lives and behavior of active hunting dinosaurs. The name Deinonychus means terrible claw. This name comes from the large curved claw found on each foot. This claw was one of its most important features and played a major part in catching and holding prey. Even though it was not among the biggest meat-eating dinosaurs, it was well built for movement, hunting, and survival. Its body showed many features that helped it chase, attack, and overpower other animals living in the same environment. Deinonychus lived during the early Cretaceous period, about 115 million to 108 million years ago. During that time, the land that is now North America looked different from today. There were wide river systems, open woodland areas, floodplains, forests, and places covered with many kinds of plants. These environments supported many different animals, including plant-eating dinosaurs, small mammals, reptiles, insects, fish, and birds. Deinonychus shared its home with many other living creatures and was one of the active hunters in its ecosystem. The body of Deinonychus measured about 11 feet in length from its head to the end of its tail. It stood a little over 3 feet tall at the hips and weighed around 160 pounds. Although it was not very large, it had a strong body with powerful muscles. Its skeleton was light enough to allow quick movement, while remaining strong enough to support running, jumping, and attacking prey. Every part of its body helped it survive in a world where food had to be hunted, and danger could come from larger predators. Its head was fairly long and narrow. Inside its jaws were many sharp teeth that curved slightly backward. These teeth were made for cutting flesh and holding on to struggling animals. When prey tried to escape, the backward curve of the teeth helped stop it from slipping away. As old teeth became worn or damaged, new teeth grew to replace them. This process continued throughout its life and helped keep its mouth filled with effective hunting tools. The skull of Deinonychus contained large openings that reduced its weight while still keeping it strong. A lighter skull made it easier to move the head quickly during hunting. Scientists studying the bones believe that the jaws could close with enough force to grip prey firmly. The teeth did much of the cutting, while the strong neck muscles helped pull and tear flesh from the animal it had caught. Its eyes faced forward more than those of many other dinosaurs. This gave Deinonychus good depth perception. Being able to judge distance correctly helped it when chasing moving animals. Good vision allowed it to watch prey, avoid obstacles, and react quickly during a hunt. Scientists also believe that its eyesight worked well during daylight, although it may also have hunted when light conditions were lower. The brain of Deinonychus was larger in relation to its body size than that of many earlier dinosaurs. This does not mean it thought like modern humans, but it does suggest that it had well-developed senses and could react quickly to changes around it. Its brain was able to process information from its eyes, ears, and other senses efficiently. This helped it coordinate its movements while running, turning, and attacking. Its neck was long and flexible. The neck allowed the head to move easily in different directions while tracking prey or feeding. Strong muscles connected the head to the shoulders and helped support the skull. These muscles also helped control quick movements when biting or tearing food. The front limbs of Deinonychus were long and powerful. Each hand had 3 fingers ending in sharp curved claws. These claws could grasp struggling prey and help hold it in place. The joints in the arms allowed a wide range of movement. This made the hands useful for reaching forward and pulling objects closer to the body. Scientists believe that the arms were very important during hunting because they allowed the dinosaur to keep control of prey while using its jaws and feet. The most famous feature of Deinonychus was the large sickle-shaped claw on the second toe of each foot. This claw was much larger than the other claws and was held off the ground while the animal walked or ran. Holding the claw above the ground helped keep its sharp edge from becoming worn. When attacking prey, Deinonychus could bring this claw downward with force. The claw probably helped grip prey, make deep wounds, and keep the animal from escaping. Strong muscles in the legs supported these powerful movements. Its legs were long and built for speed. The bones were strong while remaining light enough for quick movement. Long lower legs helped increase the length of each step. Strong thigh muscles provided power for running and jumping. The feet were designed to give balance while moving across different kinds of ground. These features allowed Deinonychus to travel efficiently while searching for food. Its tail was long and stiff because of special structures that supported the tailbones. Instead of hanging loosely, the tail stayed fairly straight during the movement. This helped the dinosaur maintain balance while running or turning quickly. A stable tail also helped control the body's position during fast changes in direction. Good balance was especially important during hunting because sudden movements could determine whether prey escaped or was captured. Scientists believe that Deinonychus was covered with feathers over much of its body. Evidence from closely related dinosaurs and fossil discoveries supports this idea. These feathers were different from the large flight feathers found on birds that spend much of their time flying. The feathers on Deinonychus probably helped protect the body, maintain warmth, and may also have been used for display during communication with others of the same species. Young individuals were also likely covered with feathers from an early age. The color of its feathers cannot be known with complete certainty, because color is rarely preserved in fossils. Some scientists study tiny structures preserved in certain fossil feathers to estimate color in related species, but no complete color pattern for Deinonychus has been confirmed. It may have had markings that helped members of its own species recognize one another, although this remains uncertain. Deinonychus was an active hunter that depended on catching living prey. fossil evidence suggests that it fed on plant-eating dinosaurs living in the same region. One dinosaur often connected with Deinonychus is Tenontosaurus. Fossils of these two animals have been found together several times. Scientists believe that Deinonychus hunted Tenontosaurus or fed on its remains after death. Some of the bones of Tenontosaurus contain marks left by the teeth of Deinonychus, showing that the meat-eating dinosaur fed on its body. There has been much discussion about whether Deinonychus hunted in groups. Some scientists suggest that several individuals may have worked together while hunting large prey. Finding several fossils near the bones of plant-eating dinosaurs has led to this idea. Working together could have allowed several Deinonychus individuals to surround, attack, and hold a much larger animal. Each individual could strike with its claws and jaws, while the others prevented the prey from escaping. Other scientists believe that the fossil evidence does not prove true cooperative hunting. It is possible that several Deinonychus gathered around the same food after an animal had already died or had been killed. Animals that feed together do not always cooperate during hunting. They may compete with one another for food instead. Because fossils cannot record every moment of behavior, scientists continue to study new discoveries in order to understand how Deinonychus lived. Both ideas remain subjects of scientific research. Regardless of whether it hunted alone or with others, Deinonychus possessed many physical features that made it an effective predator. Sharp teeth, strong jaws, grasping hands, powerful legs, large foot claws, good eyesight, and quick movement all work together during hunting. These features allowed it to capture animals that were difficult to catch. Young Deinonychus probably grew from eggs laid in nests. Like other dinosaurs, adults likely reproduce by laying eggs rather than giving birth to live young. Although no complete nest belonging directly to Deinonychus has been found, discoveries from related dinosaurs suggest that eggs were placed carefully in prepared nesting areas. The eggs would have contained developing young that depended on warmth until they hatched. After hatching, the young were much smaller than adults and would have needed time to grow before becoming skilled hunters. Their bones became stronger as they matured, and new teeth continued replacing older ones throughout their lives. Fossils from individuals of different ages help scientists understand how the body changed during growth, showing that young animals gradually developed the strong muscles, large claws, and body proportions that made adult Deinonychus successful hunters.